Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love. American made.
Listen up, Autothoughts and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a Transformers, a history of the Transformers franchise on television, non-linearly. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
And folks, we have reached the end of Armada. Our beloved main character, Thrust, has died. So beloved by both of us, certainly.
And everyone else who consumes
and
this
everyone
show.
else. Really just a wonderful presence that will be sorely missed. Oh man. Well, we're we in it now. Mm-hmm. The big boy is standing up and he's very angry.
He is speed running being a toddler. He's standing up, he's walking.
He's yelling really loudly.
He's eating solids.
He is. He's eating a lot of solids. Perhaps too many solids. I'm worried for Unicron's gut health here.
Yeah, give him a little bit of fiber, and we'll get that system running.
Yeah, Cyber doesn't really have any forests. So
Fiber optics.
Oh man, there you go.
Dun, 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 dun.
So we watched episodes
Intolerable.
49 and 50 of Transformers Armada this week. In the dub, episode 49, let's just jump right into it because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
49 is called Alliance in the dub.
It is called Unicron's Awakening in the sub.
Both pretty fitting titles.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with either of those. Neither of them are particularly challenged, or particularly creative, but it's what it says on the tin for both of them. So
we open here on Unicron, continuing to give Cybertron the suck.
Don't say it like that. Don't do this.
I have a much worse note later on.
Cool.
Don't you worry.
Great.
So, yeah, we see that, and Galvatron is looking on at this, and just being just sort of thinking about Starscream's sacrifice and his last wish, and the other Decepticons are there also, and they're like, you were kidding about the joining the Autobots thing, right, Galvatron? That was a bit, that was a goof, that was a joke.
So there's everyone has the same reaction, but from different reasons. Ironhide's so joining with the Autobots goes against everything I stand for as a person. So I have some ideological questions about this decision.
Cyclonus, on the other hand, just thinks it's really stupid. But then he's like, "Oh, well, hang on, I have an idea."
Specifically, he calls out Starscream for being a traitor.
Yes, he does.
Which is he says, hilarious coming from Cyclonus, from Sandstorm.
To be fair, he, despite all of his flaws, he has been nothing but loyal.
But to think that is his primary, or even substantial reasoning behind any of his activity, I think is, well, maybe it is, but the show has certainly not portrayed it that way.
I love this because he calls Starscream a traitor and says he got what's coming to him, but then he's like, all right, well, maybe what if we do join the Autobots? It'd be really funny if we said we join the Autobots and then we turn around and betray them and kill them all. Wouldn't that be funny, Galvatron?
Megatron's no, it would be funny? Me disassembling you right now.
Galvatron gives him a good whacking and is like, you shut your mouth, Starscream.
Tina, you ignorant slut.
Exactly. Despite all of the challenges to my authority and all of the issues me and Starscream had, he was a better warrior than any of you fuckers by miles. So shut the fuck up.
And in the sub, he's takes it even one more step more explicit, where he looks at Sandstorm. He doesn't really care what Ironhide's saying. He's like, figure out your demons and deal with it.
He knows that Demolisher will just do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really that concerned about. And also, like, as per usual, Ironhide, despite having his doubts, is being pretty, like, respectful about it. Right? Like, he's not insulting someone's death. Or whatever, you know. He's like, I don't feel good about this, but he's not, like, doing it in a way that really actively hurts anyone else. But to Sandstorm, he was like, hey, did you just see what he did? Just now? Did you see that? You couldn't even do half of that. I would like to see you do what he did in any other circumstance. In that circumstance or any other. But you wouldn't because you're the coward here.
You know, that puts how gung-ho Cyclonus is about fucking up Unicron in this episode in a different light. Because he's like, all right, I'll prove him. I'll shoot Unicron even more than Starscream
Exactly.
did. He completely misunderstood Galvatron's point. Is like, oh, he wants me to shoot Unicron.
Yeah, but he heard Megatron say, I'd like to see you do even half of that. And he's like, okay, I will do that.
The Starscream shot didn't even reach him. You won't even believe how many times I'll shoot this guy, and it will do literally nothing. So Galvatron is just sort of frustrated by the entire situation. Is like, I cannot believe this shit. Once I am done with Unicron, then we will move on to destroy Prime. But for now, we have to work together.
And they sealed a deal with an official handshake. He and Optimus do.
A bit later, first we get a scene inside of Unicron's heart with the boys, Thrust and Sideways, where Thrust is, prattling on about how he is looking forward to being Unicron's right hand and his genius tactician, and Sideways basically turns and tells him, yeah, I was basically lying about all that. You can just fuck off now. You've done all you need to do. Leave me alone. I don't want to be near you.
In the sub, he specifically says Unicron only needs one agent.
Hell yeah.
Which is what sets Thrust up for the rest of these 2 episodes to do all the shit that he does.
He's on one, shall we say, for these 2 episodes.
He's on some dumb shit.
He stabs the Star Saber into Unicron, fully awakening him. He finally begins to shake off the rest of that moon shell. And I'll just read exactly what I wrote here. His suckage of Cybertron has now been upgraded to Sloppy Toppy.
Hey, Nero?
Yes?
We've been Prime Cuts. You can find us on noisepace.xyz. You can find us on Twitter at PrimeCutsPod.
I'm being escorted out of my recording studio by several burly men. I didn't even know we had bouncers here. So...
Onslaught is escorting you to the exit.
He's very burly.
He is.
So, yeah, before... It was, kind of a bad scene with Unicron, destroying Cybertron. Now it's oh, we have to leave. We got to get off the planet, sort of bad.
Yeah, me stuffing rust sticks into my bag. I have to leave immediately.
So both the Autobot and the Decepticon fleets sort of try running away. A lot of them get blown up in, the gale that Unicron's sort of, suckage is creating here.
Yeah. The Microns help. They create, a bit of a shield that stops some folks from getting slurped.
They shield both the Autobots and the Decepticons.
Yeah.
Because I guess they got the news already that there was the war's off. And we kind of see the Axelon lagging behind the rest of the fleet here because Hoist and Hotshot are still not on the ship. Hoist, he's old, he's slow, even with his new body. So Hotshot gives him a push from behind.
It's pretty good. Funny. And then they use flattened piece of road that's sticking up as a ramp.
Yeah, they ramp it. And so they're well, and Optimus is all right, let's it's time.
All right, now that everyone is here.
Official. So we see I don't. Where are they meeting on the Axelon or
No,
on the?
they're on the
the Hydra
cannon. Yeah. Specifically because all of the Autobots, and specifically the kids, are like, "Hey, do we feel good about being here?" Just like checking really quick. Do we feel like good and safe about being here? And the Autobots are like, "Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine." So yeah, the entire fleet. I guess you could at this point you could say, what are we? Some kind of Transformers armada?
You can follow me on Tumblr and Twitter personally at Optimum on Prime, which is my funny robot internet joke.
Onslaught, you stay in the corner. I'm not. Let me at least finish the episode. All right. So yeah, they make it official. I like that they are just stoically silent. They walk up to each other, and it's like, ooh, what's gonna happen? And then they just reach out and they shake hands.
It's kind of like something out of a Yakuza game, honestly.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And then I love that everyone else also starts mingling around.
Yes! My favorite part of this is that Pants OTP cannon.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah. So, like, Hotshot's hanging around with Demolisher, I think. A really good thing.
No, it's Ratchet with Demolisher and Hot Rod with Sandstorm.
No, it's Sideswipe with Cyclonus because I wrote down their exchange here.
Oh, right, you're right.
Because Cyclonus says, "Ha! I can't believe I'm fighting for harmony. What a lot of bunk. I'm a lean, mean fighting machine." And Sideswipe sort of looks off screen and says, "I gotta work with this guy."
Yeah, obviously Sandstorm doesn't say the same thing in the sub, but Stepper's reaction is essentially the same.
Fucking look into the fucking gym office moment, just looking into the camera. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Tidal Wave and Jetfire are shaking. Well, Tidal Wave is shaking Jetfire's hand very firmly and enthusiastically, and Jetfire's like, "Hey, yeah,
Pants
cool,
OTP cannon."
Cool. And Tidal Wave the entire time, and then I'm just going, Tidal Wave. Very friendly.
So if you're straight, who is the pants and who is the pants?
Once again, Tidal Wave isn't really pants so much as like a.
He's a third pants. He's a third chaps.
That's
and
true.
Those are pants.
But he's like more of an accessory. So you got the chaps,
they're
you got
assless.
the gloves.
They are assless.
They are. That's true. That's
but
important.
they are pants.
He is technically pants. So basically, immediately after this, it's like, all right, let's go fuck up Unicron, and all of the collected armada begins attacking. And it turns out that just sort of flying at Unicron and shooting him a bunch doesn't actually do anything. He's fine. He's completely unscathed, then he, like, blows up a bunch of ships with a retaliatory attack.
It's kind of sad, actually.
and everyone's like, oh, well, shit, there goes plan A. I guess we gotta figure something else out. It's like, oh, was this really plan A? Like, I like that Galvatron sends in some, like, recon ships to test Unicron's defenses.
So they're like, okay, these ships were too big, but what if we were, like, the size of mosquitoes to him?
Yeah. So first Galvatron sends in, like, 2 big ships to, like, all right, see what happens if you get close to him. Bad things happen when you get close to him. So then Optimus is like, okay, so maybe, now hear me out, Hotshot, what if you got in the tiny little bubble pod and flew onto Unicron's surface, bypassing his defenses because he was so small? It'll be fine. And
you've watched
Galvatron's
Osmosis Jones, right?
Yeah. And Galvatron's like, that is a great idea. Demolisher and Cyclonus, you do the same. And no one is happy about this arrangement, but
Stepper is also there.
Yes. It's Hotshot, Sideswipe, Cyclonus, and Demolisher. They're all on and also there's a shit ton of Decepticon generics alongside Cyclonus who exist purely to die later. But yeah, they're going on Operation Osmosis Jones here. This is the first time we've seen the Decepticon landing craft. It's like, because the Autobots have the little bubbles and the Decepticons have like wedges because they're evil.
My least favorite of the 6 basic tools.
They're basically flying around in like evil doorstops.
I wish it was a pulley instead.
These are the most sinister of simple machines. The wedge.
Yeah.
So immediately, basically, things go poorly. They get onto the surface, and Cyclonus just runs off and shoots at shit. Demolisher starts arguing with Hotshot about how he doesn't fucking... He's not the boss of him. He's an Autobot. He doesn't mean shit. He can do whatever he wants. So he just goes off on his own as well. And Hotshot just looks inside him and goes, well, let's get some actual work done, I guess. Fuck them.
Unfortunately, Unicron does in fact notice them.
Yeah, he's like, there's a bunch of weird little fucking bugs crawling all over me. So we get some shots of, the classic Unicron wall sphincters opening up. And a fuck ton of tiny orbs flying out of it.
Now, do you want to know what the Japanese line is, or at least how it was translated in this fan sub?
Sure.
That's a lot of frickin' balls.
The
Says
balls
Hot Rod,
are inert.
as he is surrounded by big steely balls.
Yeah, a lot of big ball bearings are swinging around here. These things are like tiny little planets that have guns on them, basically. This is not a character, but technically a character. It is like basically Unicron's Minicon partner for his toy. This is Dead End. Dead End drones, basically, here. And they start fucking everybody up.
What a miserable relegation for Dead End.
Yeah. He would think it makes sense. He'd be like, of course I get to be Unicron shitty defensive drones. That only makes sense. So
I guess
also
man,
okay.
I guess most of the Stunticons ended up as Microns, huh?
Yeah.
No Motor Master.
No Motor Master, but I think all the other ones are accounted for. So
wait,
right
is there
after
a wild ride?
Oh, there isn't.
Yeah,
There's no wild ride.
There you go.
But the rest of them are.
Yeah.
So they begin after he releases these dead end drones. He also the landscape they're on begins to shift because Unicron is transforming while they are on him.
What a concept!
And Blackout, Demolisher's Minicon partner, just fucking plummets into a new canyon. And Demolisher's like, oh shit.
It's like bad.
Yeah, things go very badly. All of the guys Cyclonus brought with him die immediately, and he runs away.
Sandstorm himself falls into a fissure. And
yes,
Ironhide is like just barely in time to save him. But those ugly little tube fingers, they weren't meant to gorilla grip anything.
No, but thankfully Hotshot arrives just in time as well.
But also, Sandstorm Baby, you can fly.
He forgot. He forgets when he's stressed.
Sandstorm Baby, you can fly!
He suddenly remembered that it makes no sense that helicopters work in space, and so he can't actually fly now.
That's right. Looney Tunes rules. Well, maybe there's an actual atmosphere on the planet, though.
Oh, maybe. I don't know if Unicron is, like,
there has
big
to be, because there's all sorts of people fly on the planet.
That's true, but,
Sandstorm Baby, you can fly!
So, like, I forget what the order of operations here is. I think first, Demolisher, finds, before Cyclonus goes for some, improvisational spelunking, Demolisher catches up with Hotshot, and he's like, we gotta go, shit's going bad. And Hotshot's like, well, hang on, where's your fucking Minicon? And Demolisher's like, he'll be fine. He'll catch back up, I'm sure. We just need to leave. That's when they hear Cyclonus, wailing for help.
Demolisher, Ironhide manages to save Sandstorm, and he's like, woof, glad I don't have to do that again. And Stepper's like, whoa.
Yep. So also, while this is happening, the fleet sees Unicron transforming, and Galvatron's like, perfect. Let's shoot him now while his defenses are weakened. And Aldra's like, hey, our guys are on that thing, dude. And he's like, well, I mean...
Listen, you gotta break a few eggs.
Prime, how much do you really care about Sideswipe? I mean, leader to leader here. Just be honest with me, because I mean, listen, I could afford to lose Cyclonus. Speaking personally,
I love all my Decepticons equally. Earlier that day, I don't care for Sandstorm.
And it's so funny because the kids start giving Galvatron guff about this, and he just says, "You shut the fuck up. What are you doing? You can't talk to me like that. I'm Galvatron." But Optimus is just like, listen. If we're gonna be in an alliance here, we gotta work. We gotta do compromises. We gotta work things differently, okay, Galvatron? He basically says, "Why don't you humor the kids?"
But I don't wanna.
Come on. So Galvatron actually has a good one where he chuckles to himself. It's like, I never thought I'd be listening to humans. It's fucking weird. What a crazy day it's been, Prime. So yeah, this is when they yank Cyclonus out of the fucking pit. Hotshot and Sideswipe notice that Blackout is trapped in a crevice, so they go get him.
Ironhide saves Stepper from falling into another fissure.
Yep.
And then Hot Rod's like, "All right, we're gonna keep this guy, but you're okay." And then gives him Blackout.
Yeah, so Unicron is basically almost fully transformed. He's fucking up the Cybertronian Armada. They have to. All of their pods got destroyed while Unicron was getting up. Yeah, it's nice because it's so nice because he gives Blackout back, and Demolisher is just so genuinely touched by the gesture. He's like, "Oh my god, I don't know what to say." And Cyclonus just looks fucking done with this shit. He's like, oh, God. Not him, too. Can't deal with this.
And at the very end, hey, you ever play Shadow of the Colossus? It's kind of the mood we're going for here.
Yeah. So, Jet Optimus swoops in to save the day, as well as Galvatron, who's also powered up.
He also has his pants on.
Yeah, they scoop their soldiers up like lost little kittens and fly them off of Unicron's body. It's a fun time. And then we get the cool shot of Unicron's head finally popping up, because before basically he was entirely transformed, but he didn't have a head in between those big shoulder spikes. But then his head pops up and we get the great shot of his face in shadow with the big glowing red eyes as it sort of slowly pans up his body. It's like, fuck, he's here.
Baby big.
That's him.
Baby hungry. And that's how we end that episode.
Yeah, leading into episode 50, which is called Union in the dub. In
the sub, it is All Out War.
So, let me just go ahead and say what the baffling fucking dub error for this entire episode is, because I literally don't know how this happened. So, Demolisher, every time he speaks, it is Hoist's voice. And also characters keep calling him Hoist. And also Hoist is in the episode separately for a bit. So, I don't know what happened here, but it's not like Demolisher doesn't have any lines or anything. He's talking quite a bit in this episode. But for some fucking reason, they just mixed him up with Hoist. But also they didn't, because Hoist is the same. I don't know how that happened.
It's an unfortunate episode for this to be happening in.
Yeah, I bet he has some cool stuff to say, but instead it's just as if Hoist is talking.
Well, just in general, for such a huge error to happen at this point in the series, it's just
And I mean, listen, we haven't been able to fucking keep the Street Action Team names straight for the entire show. But that's different.
That's a minor issue, relatively.
Yeah, it comes up every so often, and functionally, everyone other than Highwire is sort of interchangeable anyway. It doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, I mean, literally, they're barely sentient.
But to have an entire episode where you just
give up the ghost,
forgot that Demolisher was there, and is like, oh, that's probably Hoist. What? it's insane.
Yeah.
It is utterly insane
great.
that this happened.
Not great.
So, anyway, with that out of the way, with that established, the Demolisher will not appear in this episode, and instead, Hoist is like possessing his body
Demolisher will not return in the Avengers.
So we open with Unicron just fucking destroying the Armada. Now he's in robot mode, like he's just sort of unleashing everything he has, while the narrator tells you how big and cool and evil he is, and you should totally go buy his big and cool and evil toy in retailers now.
How expensive was that toy?
It was pretty expensive.
So I'd imagine.
Let me check. It was the Supreme class. It was like the biggest one.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get
the 2018 one.
Yeah. Right now you can buy it sealed for $86.
Honestly, less than I was expecting. But I have anime figure brain rot, so I forget how much actual American toys cost.
The thing about the Unicron figure for this series is that, like, for a very long time, this was the best Unicron we had, right? Like, this was the first Unicron toy, and it was the best Unicron toy. And then Hasbro said, "Would you like to drop like a mortgage payment on this gigantic Unicron toy?"
Hey, now I know you've been thinking about that PS5, but have you considered just a really large Unicron instead?
What if you could have Unicron on your fucking lamp table, and that is roughly how big he is? That thing is fucking huge.
I saw it when it was like originally released at New York Comic Con, and I was like, great googly moogly.
It's fucking insane.
It was also the year that I was cosplaying Starscream, so that was a fun booth to be at.
The transformation guide they put up on the YouTube when it was funded, it was like, oh my god, that thing comes up to that man's chest. It was like sitting on a table, but still, that's fucking huge. I can't quite find like how much it was, but I would say like it was probably like somewhere within the realm of $80. Honestly,
yeah, that sounds right.
So basically, it was telling you to go bother your parents into getting a Unicron for Christmas, which I did. I got a Unicron for Christmas. So yeah, we see this is great. So we kind of zoom in, and we see Thrust is perched on Unicron's shoulder like the world's ugliest parrot.
I mean, he's like smaller than a parrot.
He's tiny, but it's so fucking good. Because, like, he is, like, laughing as, I can't believe I've won. I'm victorious. I'm the tactician to the fucking dark god himself, Unicron. Sideways, that fucking chump. I'm totally gonna be better than him. Unicron will choose me as his friend because I'm the greatest in the universe.
Yeah, in the sub, he's like, only need one agent, huh? Well, guess who's gonna be that one? It's not you, it's me. I'm gonna be that one.
So then Unicron suddenly yells and starts zipping through space, and the entire, like, control room of the Axelin just goes, oh, fuck, what is going on? Oh, I didn't know he could do that.
Sleeper agent activation noise.
Yeah, and, like, everyone realizes, oh, shit, he's going after Cybertron right now. And it's like, he's already been trying to drain it dry, but now it's like, no, we're just gonna go smash it. We're just gonna go, like, punch it.
Yeah, who needs chewing when your food is mush?
Yeah. So then, it's like Hotshot, Wheeljack, and Sideswipe just run out to go and intercept him. Instead, everyone going like, "No, do not do this. You will not be able to do anything other than get fucking shot down." And the kids are just fucking begging Red Alert to like give them some air support, but he is just like, I can't do that. I cannot risk this entire ship for Hotshot's impulsive ass, alright? I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen.
And he was right.
He's right. As always, he is right. Also, I think this has come up a few times where he has been like, I understand you want to save your friends, but we gotta think about it strategically. He has been the guy who's willing to stand there and be like, I am not going to like do anything until Optimus gives me an order. Like, I'm not gonna put anyone else in danger, all right?
Which is when, like, how you know that you're doing the right thing. If Ratchet approves of your plan, because there has been, like, a couple
Yes.
times when he's like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
And so
As
yeah,
we get in this episode a little bit later as well.
Yep. So Thrust is being like, but it's so funny. So they're in these little like personal jet fighters. They're basically doing like strafing runs on Unicron here, and Hotshot, I believe it's Hotshot, looks down and says, "Hey, that's fucking Thrust. Kill that guy. Why is he still here?" So they just start shooting at him.
Oh.
And Thrust is like, "Oh my god, Unicron, they're going to hurt me. You have to help me." He doesn't, pretty much. I doubt Unicron even knows he's there.
Oh, for sure not.
So, he hides directly at Unicron's like neck joint, basically. Which is just, and then we cut back to, I think this actually might be the Hydra Cannon bridge where
Yes,
Demolisher is like, I believe, I've run a few scans. His armor is basically entirely impenetrable, except for the joint at his neck. That is like the bit where we can target to maybe get inside of him. And Galvatron's like, great. Alright, here's the plan, everyone. You are going to run an assault on Unicron, distract him while a team goes in to blow open his neck hole. I am going to go tear Thrust into tiny little pieces. Personally.
Well, he's like developing the plan, and he's like, Optimus and I will take lead on this. And the kids over here,
Yes.
there's a great part where like he says that, and the kids are listening in as well, and Billy and Jim go, hell yeah, kick his ass, Optimus. And Megatron just like stares at them, and they're like, and Megatron Sama? They're like trying to be like that, and he's like, yes, you stand, Megatron Sama.
Yeah, it's the
You do
same
this!
in the dub. It's so good. He's like, ha ha, that's more like it.
He's like,
Like,
yes,
I don't
the
know, it's
adulation of my fans. Ha 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 ha.
It's just fun having Galvatron around as like a buddy. Like it's honestly very
He does the
funny.
Sesame Street count laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, they enact Megatron's plan, because it
Yeah.
is in fact a pretty good plan.
Hotshot and Wheeljack basically have to fall back to like, all right, we got a new plan. Get back in position. We're gonna enact this. And Thrust is continuing to like talk to Unicron as if they're partners. And it's great because like he's just chattering away, and then you just hear from Unicron. And Thrust is like, I think that's a positive noise. I think that means that we're bonding. That I really feel a connection here, Lord Unicron.
Yeah, Thrust is like so true, bestie.
Actually, no. Actually, what he begins to start like he begins to have a small existential crisis where he's like, "Oh fuck, wait, what if?
Oh yes, he was like.
What if Sideways lied to me and this guy's just a big dumb
So
robot?"
the reason why he's like, all right, like Lord Unicron, it's time for you to kill all our enemies, and Unicron's not doing anything, and Thrust is like, whenever you want, Lord Unicron. And
For me, your favorite little buddy,
Unicron
Thrust.
continues not to move, and Thrust is like, oh, great googly moogly.
What if Sideways has lied to me and I fucking betrayed the Decepticons for nothing, and now Megatron is gonna come and twist me into a bunch of different shapes like a balloon animal because I betrayed him to serve this fucking dumb pile of
God,
bolts.
that would honestly probably have been less painful than what does happen to him.
Yes, but then he like works himself back into a chute where he's like, hang on. No, none of that's true because I am the smartest man to have ever lived. And Unicron clearly understands that and knows that I am the tactical genius, and I simply need to prove it, and then I'll be Unicron's head agent.
I have to say, I don't care for Thrust, but he did have a really good final episode. Some of the top 10 funniest moments in the show came from Thrust being an absolute jackass in this episode.
I posted a really great looking shot of Thrust in the Transformers Watch channel of him like pointing accusatorily at Galvatron. So yeah, Optimus is basically talking to Galvatron as they're getting ready to run this assault, where he's like, I think we need to like, apparently Unicron has already like sucked up a few minicons during his sort of initial attack on Cybertron. And he probably also still has some in there somewhere. And Optimus is basically like, okay, we need to awaken the minicons inside of him, including the 3 weapons, who, as Highwire explains, actually I think it's Grindor that explains this, because now all of the Street Action team can talk. Grindor explains that, like, once you are reconnected to Unicron, like, a minicon stops being sentient. They become what they were meant to be, which was like the sort of extension of Unicron's will. And so the 3 weapons are completely inert. They are unable to be communicated with. And Optimus and Galvatron also cannot do this. They cannot awaken the minicon weapons. Only Highwire can. So they also have to go into Unicron's guts.
Yeah, there's like a lot of lines here where they're like, yeah, we're gonna rearrange his insides. We're gonna mess up his guts. Parentheses, non-sexual.
Goodness. And so while this is happening, Unicron's chest opens up and reveals the real Hydra cannon.
Ruh-roh, Scoobert.
That fucking thing that Thrust built, yeah, that was baby shit. This is the real thing. And he basically, like, takes aim directly at Cybertron and fires. So, like, they scramble all jets, with Hotshot in command of that, for the assault. Sideswipe, I like this bit, because if you'll remember, listeners, the Hydra Cannon ship actually has, like, a very strong deflector shield. And so they have Sideswipe maneuver it in front of the planet as like a shield to block the blast, giving the actual ship assault time to happen. Meanwhile, so like Galvatron and Optimus head out. Galvatron arrives on Unicron's surface and sees Thrust. And he's like, oh, you fuck this fucking guy again. Time to finally squash this Squidhead.
I got murder in my heart.
Yep. This is so funny because immediately Thrust tries to run away, transforms, hits, like, bonks himself against some kind of overhang and then falls over. Fucking dipshit.
It's pretty good.
So, Galvatron is basically like, all right, I am here to, I'm gonna be frank with you here, Thrust. I am going to kill you. But Thrust is like, haha, before I made a pact with the Dark God, that might have scared me. But now, I'm Unicron's main man. I'm his... Hang on, what the fuck is that?
His right hand man, arm man, hand. His confidant. Rabbit. His silly rabbit. Is that what he calls you? No.
So...
I'm his everything.
Basically just like... I'm his everything. So I love this. Thrust just starts, like, laying into Galvatron about how shitty of a leader he is. And it's basically like, worst guy you know makes, heartbreaking. The worst guy you know just made a good point. Where he's like, you have done nothing but divide the Decepticons in pursuit of your own fucking selfish agenda. We would have won this war ages ago if I was in charge. And Galvatron basically says... Maybe, but I'm not the one who just got stuck in Unicron's shoulder. Because this is when he knocks his head against the fucking overhang and falls into like a gap in Unicron's armor, which is very slowly closing.
This is, I say this a lot on all my podcasts because I only have 3 interests, but this is some truly Saw shit.
Yeah, so I love this. Galvatron basically walks up to the trapped Thrust and says, I'm willing to make you a deal. I can shoot you now and put you out of your misery, or I can just leave it up to you. I'm sure you're a smart guy, right? You say you're so smart. you can get out of this one, right? Actually, you know what? Forget the shooting you thing. I'm just gonna leave. You can handle it. You can do it. It's fine. I don't gotta do anything.
It's a very slight difference in the sub where he's like, instead of I'll offer you deal, he's like, you appear to have one of two choices, which is either I can kill you now, or you can get this find the strength to get out of this on your own and finish the job and finish killing me yourself.
Yep.
And then he looks at him and goes, all right, bye.
Yeah, it's fucking good luck. And Thrust is just like telling Unicron to stop. He's like, don't you see I'm right here? As the fucking armor's slowly closing in on him. And while he's walking away, fucking Galvatron says, you know, let me give you a piece of advice, Thrust. If, let me see, where is it? If you dare to have dreams of power, you will eventually be consumed by them. And then we see Thrust, like, Thrust gets squeezed and he, like, swells up and then explodes. Mm-hmm. Like, we just see an explosion behind Galvatron. And let me reveal to you now, this is the one. This is the single Unicron trilogy death that is never undone in any way.
Yeah, that tracks.
It's just this.
That tracks.
It is only Thrust. Thrust never even comes back in any of the fucking Collectors Club comics or anything. Nothing. He's just dead.
Good for him.
So, R.I.P. to a real one. Big F's to Thrust. He sucked real hard and was really funny. So, the Minicons begin to, like, form an extra layer of protection around the Hydra Cannon because Unicron has not stopped blasting this entire time. He's gonna keep blasting. And this is where the Street Action team are like, we have to go into Unicron's guts as well. Optimus and Galvatron aren't going to be able to, like, do this on their own. We need to awaken the Minicons. And Rad basically says, well, then we're coming too. We all got to go. And there's a thing where, like, well, how are we going to get in there? Like, we can't get near that fucking thing without getting blown to bits. And then Red Alert is like, what about... Is it Red Alert who says, like, what about the underground warp gate, I think?
I can't remember, because he gives them the go-ahead, but...
Yes.
Well, he's the only one there, so it must be him.
Yeah, it might have been Alexis, actually, who brings up, like, hey, there was that weird wormhole in the ground, and Red Alert's like, well, shit, that could actually work. Goddamn. I'll get you guys down there right quick. So, like, yeah, everyone else is fighting through, and Galvatron and Optimus are, like, fighting their way through endless swarms of dead-end drones within Unicron's interior. The kids and the Minicons set out, get ready to go through the wormhole. The ceiling collapses and buries Red Alert, but he holds it up for long enough to, like, let them through.
So he has this line as he, like, gives them the okay. Well, first of all, when they're like, please, Mr. Ratchet, can you, like, let us go? And he's like, before the ceiling collapses, he's like, yeah, you know what? I also believe you're here for a reason, by which he means in space with them in the middle of, like, a mortal war.
I should hope so, otherwise why'd you bring him?
Exactly, left unsaid, because if not, we are directly responsible for you being in mortal danger. Constantly, all the time. And then they all show up in their suits, and now with Billy and Jim as well, it really is like Go-Go Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. Well, I love the, like, the weird automatic, like, spacesuit thing. It's like liquid rubber that forms over their hands for gloves and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
It's cool. I like it. And it is enough of a, like, demonstration of how this technology works for me to understand why they have, like, this many suits in children's size. Right? Like, It is just enough that, like, it doesn't need to be explained exactly, but you can see enough of how it works to be like, okay, that's how it works. Got it.
Yeah. So, the kids and the Minicons are inside Unicron. Optimus and Galvatron are making their way there, too. Then... some insane shit happens where the Minicons who are shielding Cybertron begin to coalesce into a gigantic holographic green clone of Unicron.
Yeah, it's
punch the shit out of him.
It's the Jolly Green Giant.
They, like, keep him pinned down as the Cybertronian armada begins to fly in for their final assault. And I love everyone gets their pre-battle quips, the normal stuff. What I love is that Tidal Wave just goes, "Let's get it on."
Didn't realize we had Marvin Gaye in the studio with us tonight.
But Tidal Wave's voice is just pure sensuality.
No doubt.
Tidal Wave. So that's where we end.
Yeah.
This episode, and next week, we're finishing Armada.
Sure are, Jesus.
We're almost done, but before we do that, we have some questions to answer from our fine listeners.
Yes.
So let's see. I love the thumbnail you chose for the question post. It's Thrust getting squeezed.
Yeah, no context. I thought it'd be fun.
It is. Robinos Prime asks, are there any other Transformers out there you wish to pop, like an over-squeezed stim toy?
Not in this continuity.
My default answer for forever and always, IDW1
Getaway. Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Getaway's actually, I think, the only character I've had enough of this guy, actually.
Although, I don't want to unwrite his end because his death is fucking great. So maybe not him. Maybe I want.
No, I don't know. I think seeing Getaway get popped like a balloon to be really funny.
His fucking head flies off and like a pew.
Yeah, it's Getaway.
Yeah, it's Getaway. Casaragnia asks, what Cybertronian outside of the robot devil does the funny anime thing of eating a lot and stacking up the bowls beside them in a restaurant? Do they become spherical like Monkey D. Luffy?
Tailgate after his multi-million year nap.
He's got a fucking carbo load. He's missed out on so many meals. And yes, I do believe Tailgate would become spherical. Because it would be very funny.
He already kind of is. As soon as he curls up, Tailgate never died. Literally, Tailgate never died. He just curled up into a little ball and rolled away.
That's true.
That's literally what happened.
That's literally what happened. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Tailgate. And then Cass also asks, what interpersonal Cybertronian issue do you think would result in this post? And she has posted a screenshot of a tweet where one user responds to someone with, a coup was attempted to overthrow the government and install a dictator as leader of this country. And then that person responds, I like you deeply as a friend, and I'm going to choose to not even respond to that. Inflates you, making you big and round. This seems like a conversation. I
have to think because it would be the election arc on in Robots in Disguise.
Oh shit! So obviously the second one is Starscream. So who's the first one? Is it Bumblebee?
I think it might.
No, because he didn't start respecting him until after he was a ghost. I think.
Oh my god!
Fuck.
It's Metal Hawk.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Metal Hawk and Starscream. So Casey Cosmotector asks, do any of the Autobots or Decepticons religiously watch My Life as a Teenage Robot? Do any of them think it's actually real? Could Jenny Wakeman be a Micron?
Literally all of them on both sides do in Armada.
Yes.
And the answer is yes to all questions.
I think Red Alert knows it's a show. Cyclonus definitely thinks it's real. He keeps telling Megatron we should really make contact with those cluster folks and get some new allies. And Megatron's just like, you go on, go away.
You idiot, they're called Junkians.
So Robinus Prime asks, hey, what would happen if Kirby sucks up a Cybertronian? Would it get a special power-up, or is it mouthful mode
Mouthful mode.
Yeah.
I've seen I haven't played the new Kirby game yet, but I've seen what that thing does to cars, and there's no reason for me to believe that a Transformer would be any different.
What would happen, do you think, if Kirby if the Transformer he was currently mouthful moding transformed while he was wrapped around them? What do you think would happen? Would he like?
He would readjust his mouthful mode.
Yeah, he wouldn't get like all weird, and he wouldn't get taffy pulled in their pistons or whatever.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
He would still be fine, but it would just be very weird.
No, it would just move around in his mouth.
Unicron was going mouthful mode on Cybertron during this episode. Ravenous Prime also asks, describe a word picture, at least 70% detail of what Cybertronian mukbang is like.
Oh, no. Sorry.
70%. I think that was just this episode.
Yeah, I mean...
You watched it. That's the Unicron's true strength.
Yeah, except the only difference is that in the actual mukbang, Unicron is sitting down at a table. And
yes,
he's already broken Cybertron up into like a bunch of different plates that are stacked around him, and he has.
That's right. It's like I imagine like a big sort of floating ball that is Cybertron in front of him that he's just sort of plucking bits off over the fork.
Using two of Vose's towers as chopsticks.
Yeah. I mean, he's just he's making conversation. I guess he doesn't seem very conversational in these two episodes, but other versions of Unicron very verbose.
Don't talk to him until he's had his breakfast.
He hungry. He just woke up.
Yeah,
he's mad. Yeah, so like after he theoretically would devour Cyber, he's gonna go, oh, sideways. Good to see you, my boy. Boy, you fucking that squid-headed guy sure was a real prick. Where'd you find that asshole? So, finally, Tacklejax asks, are there any figures that you consider to be your white whale? Titan-class Predaking.
Okay.
Someday I will buy it. It will be a bad choice. I don't have the space for it, but fuck, I want it so bad. That figure looks amazing.
Okay, so... I have, like, two answers to this. One of them is, like, for Transformers, it's Masterpiece Starscream.
They've been, like, 4 of those. Like, I don't know if any of them are good, though. The first one
I'm talking about the 1986 movie Masterpiece Starscream.
Oh, the one with the cape.
The one with the cape,
yeah.
that one. Which is, like, the Takara Tomy 1986 86 movie Masterpiece Starscream, which is... beautiful. Now I have leader class stars. I have a few Starscreams. My best ones are Hearts of Steel and the leader class, which are both perfectly nice. But like the cape is so good, and I've been like looking for this thing at every con I've ever gone to, basically since I started getting into Transformers a decade ago, and I have never found one at the con. So that's my. Now, I could just buy it. It's like $200, but I could just buy it. But that's my white whale for Transformers. And then besides that, there has been exactly, as far as I can tell, and I've checked a lot, so I'm pretty sure I'm pretty confident in it, there's been exactly one Ryo Bakura figure from Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever created. Not Yami Bakura, because I have that asshole. And he has a lot of shit. Everyone loves Yami Bakura. I'm talking about my good boy Ryo Bakura, which is the one Koi Grande figure. It's the size of a Nendoroid. It kind of looks like a Nendo. It's not a Nendo, but it's a similar thing. And I can't find that shit for anything. And when it came out, it was like $20-$30. I think it was something like 2,500 yen. And now you can't get it for like less than 90. So, awesome.
Oh, my non-Transformers white whale. Similarly, in terms of size and cost, I really want that giant Kaido portrait of pirates. He's so big. It's like fucking. Yeah. It's not 1/8 scale because I think that would be the size of a house. But it's like
the Yamato statue
that.
is really good.
I want that one. I want the Yamato. I want the Big Mom. Another like huge one. It's like fuck. If I could have a fucking wing of my house dedicated to those fucking things, that would be perfect.
I have my 1/8 Law, which I like. That I got for like $20. I'm not sure how I got that for $20, but I do have my 1/8 Law for $20.
What outfit is it?
It's the camo pants with the smile sweatshirt.
Is that is that Zoe?
It's like his original thing. It has like the
Oh yeah, okay, the original like Sabody.
yeah, Shabadi, and it has like
This weird like what was up with this like weird fur beanie?
yeah, he
in
has that. He's
original?
not wearing it in the statue. He has he's holding it in his hand. So in his right hand he has the sword, and then in his left hand he has his beanie.
They should make a version. They should make a law figure where he's flipping you off. Anyway, we've been Prime Cuts. You can of course find.
Oh, we've
us
already
on
done
Twitter.
this. No, I'm kidding. Go.
Onslaught, keep your the fucking. We need to, I didn't know you hired this muscle to try and get me out of the studio if I say things like Unicron gives Cybertron the sloppy toppy. No,
You're on thin fucking
Prime
ice.
Cuts.
You're on
I
thin
can see
fucking
that.
ice, my friend.
Like we're on Twitter for now at Prime Cuts Pod, unless if something bad happens to me here are my last known coordinates.
We're gonna see how far this kayfabe stretches real quick.
You can find us on Twitter at Prime Cuts Pod and join the Discord, which is always in the link section of our Twitter and in the description of every episode. I've been busy editing other stuff lately, but soon I want to get a Jackbox night or something, or watch stream the 86 movie or something.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, required viewing for
I feel
everyone.
like we should do something like between every season. I think like that's like a good way to do it.
So yeah, I really want to talk about that complete classic that I can basically quote that entire movie off the top of my head. I've seen it so many times. It's eminently quotable, which is why every Transformers series quotes it all the time.
I mean,
Anyway,
it did give us one of my, I think, favorite lines from anything ever has been, "Silence or you'll be found in contempt of the court. I have nothing but contempt for this court."
Pretty good. You can we are of course a part of the Noise Space podcasting network. Noisespace.xyz. All sorts of shit you can find on there. All sorts of great shows. Forward ReZero 020. Kyle XY, which is very shortly ending. What a beautiful time we have shared with that belly buttonless boy. And basically, any podcast for any interest you might have, you can find something there.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Dragon Smoocher. You can find other various things I am doing or have done in various other places, such as at Podcast of Power on Twitter, my She-Ra show with my good friend Jane. On Disney Minus at Disney Minus Pod on Twitter. Next up, we are watching Brave. So that should be fun. It's been a while since I watched that. I am looking forward to doing an utterly wretched Scottish accent that entire episode and sort of torturing my co-hosts. You can also find Radio Free Heidelin at Heidelin Radio on Twitter. The first episode will almost certainly be up by the time this episode is out, so check that out. And the plug from my pals at Konoha Crush, excellent Naruto podcast. They just started the Chunin exams arc, so if you want to hop in and catch up real quick, that's the perfect place to do it. Ninjas. That's me.
Cool. I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr or Twitter at OptimumProne, which is my funny robot internet joke. Just in case you couldn't hear it while I was trying to get it out over Nero's screams of resistance earlier in the episode. You can also listen to the other podcast I do. It's called Pod of Greed. You can find it on Twitter at Pod of Greedcast. You can also find it on Noise Space. It's about Yu-Gi-Oh! We are heading towards the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Season 3. And things are happening. It's been actually a while since I've recorded like a normal episode because we had our like Patreon episode and then we had April Fools and then I wasn't on this past week. So it's been like a month since I've recorded a normal episode of Pod of Greed, but excited to get back in there.
A lot of Dark World guys running around. Which that latest episode gave me the idea an idea for my next Cup of Greed persona. I'm very excited.
Oh god, don't remind me.
It's coming.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Would love to play it someday.
I would love to resolve End of the World
as long as
someday.
I don't lose a duel after an hour in the stupidest way possible again this year, I'll be fine.
Surely it can't happen
Oh, it
twice.
definitely can. I'm just gonna try to avoid it as hard as I can.
Ah, shit, I forgot I was holding the Lathe of Heaven there. I don't know why I still have this thing. It's nothing but trouble.
Really, all I can hope for is that I go against someone in the first round who's actually very competent at the game and they just knock me out quickly. That's what I hope for.
What if you somehow make it to the finals?
Again, what if I was made of pudding? Like, we can talk about hypothetical, like
happen.
crazy hypotheticals all day, Nero.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one thing that isn't hypothetical is that I am going to be forcefully thrown out of the studio by these big burly Combaticons. I will sort of slam on the door for a bit before sulking in the rain and then transforming and rolling out, never to be seen again.
I'm going to put pants on my pants, transform and roll out.
Peach.